will these countries actually come to the aid of Taiwan? God forbid, should the balloon go up in this part of the world. Joining me on the broadcast, Admiral Shekhar Sinha. Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha is a former Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief of India's Western Naval Command, incidentally currently in Australia. And also with me is Brian Ho, the editor of New Bloom here in Taiwan. And Brian, if I could come to you first, the exercises that are being carried out by Taiwan right now, whether it's the F-16s with their Harpoons and their AIM-120s, or the Apaches and the Black Hawks, what's this about, and the big exercise that's scheduled for September?
That's right. So in part, it's about military signaling that Taiwan does have the capacity to resist, that Taiwan is not a pushover in that regard. At the same time, I think Taiwan is particularly trying to avoid tit-for-tat escalation with China, which may not work out well for either party. In the sense that, for example, if both parties are responding with increasingly aggressive actions to each other, perceiving themselves as only reacting to the other, the odds of conflict are then heightened. And so I think that is what Taiwan is trying to signaling, strength, but as a form of deterrence, without signaling an escalation. And so I think that's particularly crucial for Taiwan at present.
Very interesting. China carries out a series of exercises, military drills, aggressive military drills, Admiral Sinha, and that's seen as an escalation. You know, the commander of the US 7th Fleet, Vice Admiral Carl Thomas, says, don't let this become the new normal. There must be a response. Taiwan carries out its own exercises. The choice of weapons, the choice of aircraft, the Apaches, the air-to-air missiles, the air-to-ground missiles, the anti-ship missiles. Is Taiwan directly sending a signal to China? What would China be reading in these exercises, sir?
Well, thank you, Gaurav, for getting me on your program, and compliment you for being possibly the first correspondent in Taipei, Indian correspondent. You know, it was necessary for the government in Taiwan to display that they have a resolve to protect the country. At the same time, prepare the people that if there is a war, it will be all of country war, and they will all pitch in, and that is why the levels of this exercise is so high. Very strong message to the PRC that we are not going to take it lying down. We will fight the battle and make sure that we don't lose our land. Secondly, you just mentioned about the exercise in Australia as well. The timing is very important because as you know that the US has a very ambiguous Taiwan Act, but in some talk, President Biden had casually mentioned that yes, America will come to defend Taiwan in case their sovereignty is being is being challenged by or being occupied by occupation forces of China come there. So I think that it is a very big signal to China. Chinese are still doing some exercise in the Taiwan Strait, and Taiwan having responded in this manner, it is certainly China should not get away with the idea that they can do anything that they feel like, and Taiwanese will remain quiet. So I think it is a very big signaling. Let me also tell you that the Taiwanese also built their own indigenous fighter, which is something like an F-16, and they have a very large number of these. They also make their own ships. They have made corvettes which are almost like a frigate. They have got supply ships, and they are in the process of building submarines. So I think that Taiwan should not be taken as weak part, and it will take all of China's might even to threaten them to the level that they think they will threaten them. Gaurav.